My ex texted, "I know I broke us, but let me prove I changed." I said, "Prove it without me." She had lied, disappeared, and blamed me for everything. 6 months later, she came back sober, sorry, and quiet. But redemption wasn't a door back into my life. Original post: I'm Everett, 34M. My ex-girlfriend, Sienna, 29F, and I were together for almost 3 years. We lived in a rented duplex in Denver, Colorado, near Sloan's Lake. The lease was in my name because I had lived there first, and she moved in after her roommate's situation fell apart. I work as an IT project manager for a healthcare software company. Sienna worked as a stylist at a high-end salon called Marlowe and Finch. She was talented, funny, the kind of person who could walk into a room and make it feel brighter, at least at first. The last year of our relationship was different. She started going out more, coming home later, borrowing money and promising to pay it back on Friday. Then Friday would come and there would be another reason. A flat tire, a client canceled, her mom needed help, her account got locked. Always something. At first, I believed her because that's what you do when you love someone. Then I started noticing the patterns. Money missing from the emergency envelope in my desk. A $600 charge on my card for a hotel in Boulder that she said was a salon retreat. New clothes she swore were gifts from clients. Her location turned off. Her phone face down. Her temper 1 inch from exploding any time I asked a normal question. When I said I was worried, she said I was controlling. When I asked where the money went, she said I treated her like a criminal. When I asked why she had lied about being at work, she said, "Maybe I lie because you make the truth unsafe." That sentence messed with me for weeks. Maybe I was too intense. Maybe I was making things worse. Maybe I was the problem. Then one night, the truth arrived through my own bank app. A transfer alert. $1,200 moved from my checking account to hers. I had not approved it. I walked into the living room where she was curled on the couch with a blanket, watching some reality show like nothing had happened. I said, "Why did you transfer $1,200 from my account?" She paused the TV, not fast, slow, annoyed, like I had interrupted her. She said, "I was going to tell you." I said, "Tell me now." She said I needed it. I said, "For what?" She rubbed her face and said, "Don't start." I said, "For what, Sienna?" That's when she snapped. "Rent, bills, life. You know, basic survival stuff. Not everyone has their little perfect spreadsheet life like you." I opened my phone and showed her the transfer. Then I showed her the hotel charge, the Cash App payments, the screenshots I had finally started saving. She looked at the phone, then at me. And for the first time, she did not have a clean lie ready. I said, "Pack a bag tonight. We'll arrange the rest later." She laughed. "You're kicking me out." I said, "I'm ending this." She stood up, blanket falling to the floor. "You don't get to abandon me when I'm struggling." I said, "You stole from me." She said, "I borrowed from us." I said, "There is no us after tonight." She stared at me like she had never considered that I might actually leave the conversation instead of trying to fix it. Then came the line, "Fine. When you realize nobody else will put up with your cold, judgmental nonsense, don't come crawling back." I said, "I won't." She packed one duffel bag and left at 1:15 a.m. Her friend Brielle picked her up in a white Subaru with a cracked bumper. Before she left, Sienna turned in the doorway and said, "You'll regret this." I said, "Maybe, but not tonight." The next morning I changed the door code, not the locks yet, because legally I wanted to be careful. I called the landlord, explained that she was no longer living there, and asked about removing her access. Since she was not on the lease, he told me to document everything and gave me permission to change the deadbolt. That cost $185. I also moved my bank account, canceled the card she had access to, changed passwords, and filed a police report for the unauthorized transfer. I didn't press for anything dramatic. I just needed a record. That was the first lesson. When chaos starts rewriting history, documentation becomes oxygen. Update 1. 5 days later, the first few days were ugly. Not loud ugly inside my house, quiet ugly, phone buzzing, unknown numbers, long texts, Friends who suddenly became relationship counselors. Brielle texted first. Everett, I know things got messy, but kicking someone out in the middle of the night is dangerous. Sienna is not okay. I replied. She transferred $1,200 from my account without permission. She left with a bag and a ride. Her belongings are still here and can be picked up with notice. Brielle didn't reply for 6 hours. Then she said it was shared money. I sent one screenshot. My account. My paycheck. Transfer made from a saved login on her tablet. No answer after that. Then her older brother Caleb called me. I had always liked Caleb. He was a firefighter in Aurora, very straightforward, no drama. He said, "Man, I'm not calling to fight, I'm trying to understand what happened." I told him, not every detail, just enough. The transfer, the hotel, the lying. The fact that I had asked her to leave after months of this. He was quiet. Then he said, "She told Mom you threw her outside barefoot." I looked at the pair of boots still by my front door. I said, "She left wearing boots and my North Face jacket." Caleb sighed. "Yeah, that sounds more like it." That was the first crack in her version. By day 3, Sienna started sending messages from email because I had blocked her number. Subject line, "You win." The body was 8 paragraphs. "You win. You made me look insane. You got everyone asking questions. You always needed to be the calm one, the smart one, the victim. I hope your clean apartment keeps you warm." I saved it. No reply. Then she sent another. Subject line, "I'm sorry." This one was different for the first 2 sentences. "I'm sorry I took the money. I'm sorry I lied." Then it turned. "But I only lied because I knew you'd judge me. I only took it because you would have said no. You always made me feel small." I saved that too. No reply. On day 4, she came to the duplex while I was at work. My doorbell camera caught her standing there for almost 7 minutes. She had sunglasses on even though it was cloudy. She tried the old code twice. Then she looked straight into the camera and said, "Really?" I watched the clip from my desk, then I downloaded it. That evening I boxed her things, not angry, not throwing stuff into trash bags. I folded clothes, wrapped her hair tools. Put makeup in a separate container. Labeled everything. Clothes, shoes, salon supplies, books, personal papers, miscellaneous. It took 6 hours. By midnight, the living room looked like a storage room. The next morning, I texted Caleb because he seemed like the only reasonable person in her family. "Sienna's belongings are packed. She can pick them up Saturday between 10 and noon. You are welcome to come with her. I'll have my friend Miles there as a witness." He replied, "I'll bring my truck." Sienna arrived Saturday at 1018 with Caleb and Brielle. She looked rough, not in a satisfying way, just rough, pale, shaky. Hair pulled into a messy bun, oversized hoodie, no makeup. For a second, I felt guilty. Then I remembered the bank alert. She walked into the garage, saw the boxes, and whispered, "Wow. You really erased me." I said, "I packed your belongings." She said, "Same thing." I didn't answer. Brielle kept looking between us like she was finally realizing she had not been given the full story. Caleb loaded boxes in silence. At one point, Sienna picked up a framed photo of us from a trip to Santa Fe. It had been on the bookshelf. I had wrapped it in bubble wrap and placed it on top of a box. She said, "You don't want this." I said, "No." Her face changed, not anger. Pain. She nodded once and put it in her box. That was the last time I saw her for 6 months, or so I thought. Update 2, 6 months later. 6 months passed, not peacefully at first, but eventually. The first month was just damage control, bank disputes, password resets, therapy appointments. Explaining to mutual friends without sounding like I was campaigning. I got the $1,200 back after filing a fraud claim and submitting the police report. The bank warned me it was complicated because she had access to my device once, but the documentation helped. The hotel charge was gone forever. So was the part of me that ignored obvious lies to keep a relationship breathing. I threw myself into work, which is not always healthy, but it kept me moving. I finished a software rollout that had been dragging for months. My director, Natalie, promoted me to senior project lead in November. It came with a $9,000 raise and a lot more meetings I did not want, but I took it. I also started doing normal things again. Gym, meal prep, Sunday laundry, coffee with Miles, Nuggets games with my brother, quiet nights where no one accused me of emotional violence for asking where my money went. Then 6 months, almost to the day after she left, I got an email from Sienna. Subject line, accountability, not access. That title made me pause. The email was short. Everett, I know I broke us. I know I stole from you. I know I lied, manipulated you, and made you question yourself so I could avoid facing what I was doing. I'm not writing to ask for you back. I'm not writing to ask you to forgive me. I'm writing because I'm in recovery now, and part of that means telling the truth without demanding comfort afterward. I am sorry. I will repay the hotel charge and the locksmith cost if you allow me to. If not, I understand. I won't contact you again unless you respond. I read it 3 times. Then I closed my laptop. My first thought was, nice try. My second thought was, maybe not. I waited 2 days. Then I asked my therapist what to do. Her answer was annoying because it was correct. What outcome protects your peace? So I replied with 4 sentences. I appreciate the accountability. You may send repayment by cashier's check to my P.O. box. Do not come to my home or workplace. I hope recovery goes well for you. No emotion, no door, no cruelty. 2 weeks later, a cashier's check arrived. $965, hotel charge, locksmith, certified mail fee from when I had sent her final pickup notice. There was no letter inside, just the check. That actually affected me more than if she had written some dramatic apology, because for once, she did not ask me to manage her feelings. A month after that, Caleb called. I answered because Caleb had never abused the line. He said, I wanted to let you know Sienna is 9 months sober. I said, that's good. He said, she's working again. Different salon, smaller place. She moved into a studio in Lakewood. She's paying mom back too. I said, I'm glad. He paused. Then he said, she wanted to know if you got the check, but she didn't want to contact you. I said, I got it. He said, okay, I'll tell her. That should have been the end, but life is never that clean. 3 weeks later, I ran into Sienna at a grocery store, King Soopers, frozen aisle, 7:40 p.m. I was holding a bag of broccoli. She was holding nothing, just standing near the frozen pizzas like her body had forgotten how to move. She looked healthier, still thin but present, clear eyes, hair shorter. Work jacket zipped up. No performance. She said, hi, Everett. I said, hi, Sienna, then silence, not hostile. Heavy. She said, I won't keep you. I just wanted to say I'm sorry in person once. I know that may not be fair. I said, thank you. She nodded like she had expected less. Then she said, I didn't know how much I had turned into someone I hated until everyone stopped rescuing me. I didn't say anything. She continued, you were right to end it. That sentence landed harder than any argument we ever had. Because old Sienna would rather set the room on fire than admit I was right. I said, I hope you keep getting better. She smiled a little, not hopeful. Not romantic, just sad and grateful. Then she said, me too, and walked away. I stood there with frozen broccoli in my hand for maybe a full minute, not because I wanted her back, because for the first time the version of her in front of me matched the apology she had written. That confused me. Redemption is easier to dismiss when it looks fake, harder when it looks quiet. Final update, 3 months after that, a lot of people asked if I got back together with Sienna. No, that seems to disappoint some people. They hear redemption and expect reunion. But those are not the same thing. 3 months after the grocery store, Sienna mailed one more cashier's check. $600. No note again. That covered the remaining hotel loss and a little extra for the bank fees I had complained about months earlier. I had not asked for it. I had not even mentioned the exact number to her after the first repayment. She remembered. Or maybe recovery made her look honestly at the damage. Either way, I deposited it. Then I sent one email. Received, thank you, I wish you well. She replied the next day. Thank you for letting me make it right where I could. I won't contact you again. And she didn't. That part matters. Because old Sienna never let silence stay silent. Old Sienna would have sent a song, a memory, a photo, a late night "do you ever think about us" message. She would have turned repayment into a bridge. This Sienna treated it like a receipt. Paid. Closed. A few weeks later, I heard from Miles that Brielle had posted something about being proud of her best friend for doing the hard work privately. No names. No drama. No vague shots at me. Just a simple post about recovery. I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. I just noticed that I didn't feel the old spike in my chest. That was when I knew I was healing too. Around that same time, I started dating someone named Kendall. She is 32, works as a nurse practitioner, and has the calmest nervous system of any person I've ever met. On our third date, I told her the short version of what happened with Sienna. Not the whole file, just enough. She listened. Then she said, "Do you feel safe now?" Not, "Are you over her?" Not, "Was she crazy?" Not, "Do you still love her?" "Do you feel safe now?" I said, "I'm getting there." She said, "Good. We can go slow." That was the moment I realized how low my standards had gotten before. I used to think love meant surviving someone's storms. Now I think love should sometimes feel like checking the weather and realizing nothing terrible is coming. Sienna's redemption did not erase what happened. It did not make the theft smaller. It did not make the lies softer. It did not refund the sleepless nights or the months I spent wondering whether I was controlling, cold, paranoid, judgmental, or impossible to love. But it changed the ending. Not our ending as a couple. That was already written. It changed the ending of the story I had to carry. For a long time, the story was she used me, stole from me, lied to me, and blamed me until I broke. Now the story is she did those things, then eventually faced them, paid back what she could, and left me alone. That second version still hurts, but it does not poison me the same way. I think that is what redemption can do when it is real. It does not demand the old life back. It does not show up with flowers and ask why you are still hurt. It does not send friends to negotiate. It does not turn accountability into a sales pitch. Real redemption is boring. A check in the mail. A clean apology. A changed pattern. A boundary respected. A person doing better even when nobody claps. I don't know what Sienna's life looks like now. I don't follow her. I don't ask Caleb. I don't look for signs. I hope she stays sober. I hope she builds something honest. I hope she never does to anyone else what she did to me. And I hope she understands that the best apology she ever gave me was not the email. It was leaving me in peace afterward. As for me, I'm good, not perfect. Good. I still check my bank account more often than I used to. I still lock my laptop automatically. I still get tense when someone says, "Can I borrow something?" Healing is not a movie scene. It is small, annoying habits slowly becoming less necessary. But my home is quiet now. My money is mine. My sleep is better. My love life is slower, safer, and honestly kinder. And the strangest part is this: I don't hate Sienna anymore. I also don't miss her. That feels like freedom. The lesson I took from all of it is simple. Redemption is beautiful when it is real, but it is not a time machine. Someone can change and still not get access to the person they hurt. Someone can become better and still not belong in your future. Accountability deserves respect. Boundaries deserve respect too. Both can be true at the same time. If you've ever seen someone truly change, or if you had to walk away even after an apology, comment below and tell me what you think. Please subscribe, like, and share this story with someone who needs it, and let me know whether you've faced something similar or what your opinion is.